Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. A BTR-80 rolls with riders on top when a small FPV darts in low. What happens on the roof decides the next minute. Ukrainian drone footage shows a three-man team of infantrymen assaulting a Russian-occupied trench, resulting in the capture of 2 Russian soldiers. Stay with it to see what follows. Drone footage shows a Russian soldier shooting a wounded comrade, then taking his gear. Stay with the frame, the moment is quick and the details are clear. Ukrainian troops herd prisoners while shouting and pushing them into line. Video from an unknown part of Ukraine shows Ukrainian troops roughly handling prisoners of war said to be from separatist regions. This is real footage, no effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. Multiple angles of footage coming out of Russian circles show a large group of Ukrainian prisoners of war being escorted by Russian troops in Kursk. According to the source, the captured soldiers are all members of Ukraine's 80th and 82nd Brigades. While we are choosing to show only the clearest clip, there are dozens of other short, poorly recorded images and videos circulating in chats right now that appear to show Ukrainian POWs and dead Ukrainian soldiers allegedly from these units. Together, the releases could indicate some sort of break in the newly forming lines in Kursk. GoPro footage from a Russian medic shows treatment of the litter patient. He stabilizes the patient, then starts a saline drip, steady and methodical. Once the drip is flowing, the tempo shifts to movement. The team lifts and carries to a secondary casualty collection point. At the site, the medic links up with a ground medevac vehicle and passes the patient to the crew. Footage from the Black Sky unit of the Ukrainian National Guard's Spartan Brigade presents a compilation video showing at least a dozen FPV kamikaze drone strikes against Russian infantry. The first strike shows Russian infantry burned by the hit. Other clips show direct hits on the Russians. In many of the nighttime clips, targets can be seen wearing thermal blocking cloaks. While the cloaks cut down on the heat signature, the cold material contrasts with the surrounding area, making the Russians identifiable anyway. After each strike, smoke, dust, and fire can be seen. Russian troops sitting in their fighting hole, exposed to the overhead view, are set on fire after a drone-dropped munition causes the sympathetic burn of something highly flammable in their position. There is little context available for this video. The perspective is from a Ukrainian drone conducting harassing operations against Russian fighting positions. The date of the video is unknown, as is the location and unit responsible. Both soldiers climb out with fire and smoke on their bodies, try to smother it, then one runs from the area while the other keeps beating at the smoke. The source argues there is no excuse for this level of exposure and says a piece of top cover built over the fighting position could have defeated the attack. A Russian tank strikes a mine and is immobilized. Smoke seeps from the hull right after the blast. 2 crew members climb out of the turret. After a short while, the ammunition and fuel cook off, and the hull erupts in a rapid series of blasts. The flames climb higher and higher, and the clip ends with smoke in the air. Footage from the Ukrainian 59th Brigade shows a series of drone-dropped munition attacks against Russian armor. The camera tracks repeated strikes on vehicles. After each hit, smoke can be seen near the tank. At the end of the sequence, a Russian tank crew tries to avoid a follow-on attack by turning off the road. In the rush to escape another roof knock, the tank leaves the track and drives onto a landmine. The blast halts the move and ends the attempt to break contact. Thick smoke fills the air at the end, and the crew members are possibly dead in the tank. Drone footage shows what appears to be a Russian soldier shooting a wounded soldier, then searching and taking his equipment. The shot is delivered, but that moment is censored. To the right of the frame, another soldier lies motionless, presumed KIA. The sequence is short and direct, and the actions happen in view of the hovering camera. Article 12 of the 1949 Geneva Convention states that the wounded and sick will not be murdered or exterminated. Reconnaissance drone footage from Russian sources shows a Ukrainian soldier trying to escape an FPV attack inside his trench. He moves quickly toward his bunker, staying low and using the path he knows. The drone appears to find the way into the position as well. A blast follows from that direction. Judging by how the debris moves, the attack was likely successful, but without the FPV's own view, the result is not fully shown. A footage from the Ukrainian 425th Skala Assault Regiment, filmed while the unit was working in Pokrovsk, shows the battlefield from overhead drones. Russian infantry, mine-laying troops, and vehicles are struck by explosions and small arms fire. The results are uncensored in this release, and many soldiers are either killed or brutally injured by the strikes. A brief narration from the source describes the action, while the impacts land across different points in the view. The sequence moves from one target area to the next, maintaining the same perspective until the last hit. Extremely graphic video shows a Russian soldier's legs taken off instantly by an explosive-laden FPV drone. After the strike, the wounded man rolls to his belly and blood pours out. He writhes in pain. A nearby body does not move in to help, and there is little he could do. The amputations are so high that tourniquets would not have room, creating a double junctional injury with both arteries severed. The blast likely damaged the pelvis and lower abdomen. The man is probably dead within seconds of the hit. Footage released by Russian forces shows a modified VOG-style grenade dropped from a drone onto a group of Ukrainian troops who appear to be evacuating a wounded soldier. The munition lands among them and causes multiple casualties. Several of the soldiers cry out in pain. One runs out of frame, then returns with what appears to be medication. The clip is presented as taking place near Svitova in western Luhansk. The camera stays on the point of impact and the movement that follows. Compilation footage shows drone-dropped munition strikes against Russian forces near Bilohorivka, Donetsk. It opens with a strike on a Russian soldier that takes off a leg. Most of the targets are infantry, and some clips show strikes on small groups. Across the cuts, soldiers are shown severely injured or dead from the blasts. The final drop shows an M67 hand grenade placed into the open hatch of a Russian main battle tank, leading to a fire. After that, thick smoke rises from the tank and the sequence ends on the smoke. The pacing stays steady across the compilation until the tank scene closes it. Ukrainian drone footage shows a three-man team assaulting a Russian-held trench and capturing 2 Russian soldiers. The fighting is close enough for voices to carry, and the Ukrainians give an ultimatum: surrender or die. The 2 Russians choose to surrender and come out with their hands up. The sequence shows the brief exchange and quick disarming. An explosion erupts from the trench just before the video ends. Some pro-Ukrainian accounts suggest a 3rd Russian detonated a grenade to avoid capture. Others say a Ukrainian tossed a frag to guard against hidden troops. The video does not confirm either claim. Brutal footage from the Ukrainian 110th Mechanized Brigade shows drone-dropped grenade attacks against Russian frontline troops in the vicinity of Avdiivka. The drops result in serious injury, dismemberment, and death. The sequence pairs the ongoing footage with the description of continuous, uncoordinated Russian offensives called meat assaults. The footage remains focused on the hits and their immediate results. In the final moments, a wounded soldier ties a cloth around his leg while the camera watches. Seconds later, a drone-dropped munition hits him and he is killed. GoPro and drone footage capture a Russian infantry unit conducting an assault on Ukrainian positions. The assault team, a group of Russian Marines, is hit throughout. At different stages, they are targeted by mortars, RPGs, artillery rounds, and cluster munitions.
Все, хорошо. Давай. По нам РПГ работает. Не надо резать, не надо резать.
The video follows the movement and incoming fire as the attack continues. The sequence runs its course across the full duration. This footage, shot and provided by Ukraine's 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, shows vehicular and infantry elements assaulting the village of Nadia in Luhansk. Russian KYIAs are visible. Continuous fire is seen around the area as the push moves forward. The footage shows group of dead soldiers on the ground. According to a statement by Andriy Beletsky, Russia's attempts to take and hold the town cost them 2 entire mechanized regiments, the 752nd and 254th of the 20th Russian Army. First-person footage from a Ukrainian kamikaze drone shows a direct hit on a Russian soldier as he crawls along his entrenched position. Trenches have long been a staple of defensive fighting and work against artillery and small arms fire, but in this case, the drone finds him inside the position. After the hit, he is caught in smoke and can be seen running in the trench toward medication. Brutal footage from a Ukrainian drone pilot shows a Russian infantryman, already wounded and on fire, trying to flee the open battlefield and find cover. He reaches a cemetery and the Ukrainian FPV drone finds him there again. The drone hits him and kills him. The clip follows him between the rows as he falls, smoke around him as the shot holds. Footage shows a squad of Russian infantry riding atop a BTR-80 armored personnel carrier, with likely an equal number inside. A Ukrainian FPV drone surprises them and makes a direct hit on the top center of the vehicle, inflicting multiple casualties. Those able to move abandon the vehicle and retreat. The wounded hide under and inside the crippled APC. The vehicle catches fire. More drones arrive to further destroy the BTR-80 and eliminate any survivors still in the immediate area. In the final moments, a drone hits a soldier and kills him instantly. GoPro footage released by the 3rd Assault Brigade shows 2 Ukrainians approach the mouth of a Russian bunker system without realizing how close they are. They find themselves engaging at the doorway and get stuck there. While standing in the entrance, the first soldier is shot and wounded by return fire from inside. As the second Ukrainian tries to assess the situation, a hand grenade is tossed from the bunker. It detonates on the Ukrainian who was in the doorway, and he dies. GoPro footage released by the 3rd Assault Brigade shows 2 Ukrainians approach the mouth of a Russian bunker system. Footage shows a Russian aid and litter team attempting to evacuate their wounded commander. As they move with the casualty, a drone drops grenades with accurate placement among them. The blasts strike the team while they are in the open. According to the source, 1 Russian soldier is killed and 3 are injured by the drops. In the scramble, 1 soldier comes to the injured commander to check if he is okay. The camera holds on the impacts and the immediate reactions. Warning, explicit from the perspective of an Azov drone. A small village well in the Toretsk region comes into view. A grenade is dropped into the shaft. A Russian soldier hiding at the bottom is hurled out by the explosion, thrown clear like a projectile. Estimates put the arc around 20 meters, roughly 65 to 70 feet. The blast kills him. The clip shows the single drop and the violent result. The clip opens with a drone-dropped munition on 2 soldiers by the vehicle. One raises his weapon at the drone and fails to stop it. Flames build until the wreck is engulfed, and the wounded man is pinned beneath the frame, while high-explosive grenades are dropped around him. Horrifically gruesome footage shows a Russian soldier trying to shelter from drone-dropped munitions near a truck. He makes several gestures toward the drone. The grenades roll and detonate nearby, adding to his injuries. This footage comes from the Ukrainian police's Lyut Brigade, shown from the medic's perspective. The Tsunami Assault Regiment recovers the body of a comrade killed the previous day in Toretsk. They move under intense enemy fire to reach him, lift him, and carry him back. The team loads the KIA into a truck with as much dignity as the situation allows before driving away. Once behind their lines, the medic sinks to his knees and looks into the camera on his helmet. Video from an unknown part of Ukraine shows Ukrainian troops roughly handling prisoners of war. According to the Ukrainians who posted the video, the POWs are from the separatist regions of Ukraine. For most of the footage, the prisoners are shouted at and pushed into place. A Ukrainian soldier in the background repeatedly butt strokes one of the prisoners with his rifle. The rest of the scene continues with the detainees under guard and the unit moving them along. That's today's raw footage. No filters, no fluff. This is M6 Archive, always first on the front lines. Subscribe and drop a comment if you want more.